Numerous stores in Sarasota County found selling alcohol to minors. Which ones were cited and what law enforcement was warning parents about this summer. Plus, the shortage of teachers in Manatee County that may leave your child without an assigned teacher when the new school year begins. And what the city of Northport plans to do with all of this trash left on the side of the road. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Topping our news tonight, officials in Northport say they've seen a rise in illegal dumping in parts of the city. It's something they're looking to crack down on aggressively and also hope to clean up that mess. ABC7's Rick Adams has more from Jasper Terrace Road with just how bad that problem is.
Well, as you can see, this is an absolute eyesore, especially for folks who live around here. There's now a strong push to clean up this illegal dumping.
Anything from couches to TVs to garbage bags.
Those are just some of the items being found on the side of the road in parts of southeast Northport near the Port Charlotte border. City officials say illegal dumping has been going on for years, but over the last year or so, they've seen an increase.
Usually in areas of the city where there are not many homes. And we're not even 100% sure if it is actually City of Northport residents. It could be surrounding counties.
The City of Northport says they will clean up this illegal dumping as quickly as they can, but there's so much of it that it may take a little bit of time. Maureen Fry has lived in Northport for around 12 years. Even though her neighborhood has been cleaned of the dumping, there was a time it was very bad.
When friends and people could come over, they would comment on it, so that's pretty bad. When people are driving through your neighborhood and saying, hey, there's a couch on the side of the road, and over on this one there's a TV, you could put it together and have a living room.
Officials say cleaning up the dumping pulls crews away from other work that needs to be done in the city. They are pushing for the police to beef up their patrol in the area. There are penalties for illegal dumping, including fines, impact on a person's driver's license, and at times it can even be considered a felony.
It's just something we want to stop, mainly because it does affect our taxpayers, but also the citizens that live here. They walk their dogs on the street, they run, they jog, they exercise, and you can't blame them. You wouldn't want this garbage, in your neighborhood.
And if you do know who's responsible for all this, or you see somebody illegally dumping stuff, you're being asked to contact the city or police immediately. Reporting from Northport, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, Rick, thank you. 8 stores in Sarasota County were recently found selling alcohol to minors. During an undercover operation by the Juvenile Alcohol Task Force, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office cited 8 local store clerks for underage alcohol sales. Deputies visited 40 stores through Sarasota County between May 31st and June 1st. The Sheriff's Office says summer break is a common time of year for underage students to buy and consume alcohol. By holding these operations, stores are reminded of the consequences of selling to a minor. Tonight, a 24-year-old Sarasota man is behind bars for trafficking methamphetamine. Deputies say Brandon Krieg sold meth to undercover detectives twice back in April. On Friday, detectives took Krieg into custody where they found nearly 23 grams of meth on him. Detectives also found a locked box inside his home with an additional 42 grams of the drug, nearly 6 grams of marijuana, and various drug paraphernalia. Krieg is charged with trafficking methamphetamine and other felony charges. Well, a new study suggests that red flag laws may be preventing suicides. This comes as more and more states consider passing laws that would allow law enforcement to seize guns from people deemed a risk to themselves or others. The University of Indianapolis study focuses on the 2 states that have had red flag laws the longest, Indiana and Connecticut. It found that Indiana's gun-related suicide rate was 7.5% lower in the 10 years after the law was enacted compared to what would have been expected without the law. Connecticut saw a nearly 14% decrease. The study says the statistics show that the law may have prevented hundreds of additional suicides by gun. Florida passed the red flag law this year, spurred by the Parkland shooting. Well, a few mishaps during Hurricane Irma are forcing Suncoast governments to make changes this hurricane season. In Manatee County, this interpreter failed to accurately translate emergency management announcements to the community and gave the community false information. According to Commissioner Robin D. Sabatino, the contracted interpreter that the county originally hired was unable to stay at the County Public Safety Center overnight. So the county was scrambling for a last-minute replacement and ended up with an employee's relative. The county has now reached an agreement with a new company that is committed to staying overnight, even on lockdown, to ensure that something like this does not happen again.
They've spent a lot of time before storm season hits to procure a specialist who will be able to communicate effectively and correctly with the citizens.
Meanwhile, in Sarasota County, $100,000 was spent to feed the staff during the storm. That compares to $9,000 spent in Manatee County. According to Emergency Management Chief Ed McCrane, the contractor that was originally selected to feed the staff during the storm was assisting Hurricane Harvey victims and could not help here in Sarasota. So the county ended up with Madison's. The county is handling things differently this year. Right now, they're looking for cheaper options, but have not solidified a bid yet.
Well, it definitely will be a savings. I don't know any numbers right now, but we're looking for the savings. We're looking to do it more cost effectively, obviously. We didn't intend for it to be that much last year.
McCrane says he expects to propose a feeding plan to the county commission in the next few weeks. In preparation for hurricane season, PGT Innovations is demonstrating how its products are tested. The company manufactures hurricane-proof windows and doors. Today, they conducted multiple tests to show how its products can withstand a storm.
The idea is to cover the whole house so air doesn't penetrate the inside of the house. When air penetrates the home, the roof pressurizes and pops off. And that's where you see all the devastation and destructions when the roof starts coming off the house. They're designed to withstand up to a Category 4, up to a Category 5 in some instance storms. The actual design pressures will vary based off the type of window you order.
It's important to make sure your home is prepared before a storm hits to avoid damage from wind, water, and debris. And let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a look at our first alert forecast. Bob, we are not tracking any hurricanes at the moment, but better to be prepared.
That's right. Always prepared. Always have those that wind protection on your windows. All the openings. Make sure your garage door is reinforced. And remember that if you have your home properly shuttered or have the correct glass on it, as we saw right there, you can mitigate the damage some 80% if a major hurricane moves on in. We saw that with Hurricane Charlie. Big storms on the East Coast winding down as they push off to the east with that westerly flow. We're watching a little bit of a piece of energy right here moving across the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to bring us some changes, maybe an increasing cloudiness, also a better chance to see some coastal showers. We didn't get much rain near the coast today. We had a few showers in Venice earlier this morning. We had some near Bayshore Gardens and one or two showers right there pushing on through. So I would not be surprised to see a little bit of activity overnight, and then especially around sunrise tomorrow, there'll be a few showers we'll have to dodge. We're not going to see a widespread rainfall all day kind of rain, but periodic showers will be possible throughout the morning and into the early afternoon as all this energy kind of works its way in our direction. Currently, it's still warm. It's muggy out there. It's 81 degrees. Feels like temperature a warm 87. More on your weather in a few minutes. Jacqueline?
All right, thank you, Bob. We'll talk to you soon. In consumer news now, the City Council of Punta Gorda is considering an ordinance to protect people from gas skimmers, even though they've only had one gas skimming case in almost a decade. The Punta Gorda police chief says most of their experience comes after the fact when people report charges on their credit cards. So they want to stop the crime before it affects the consumer by adding a lock and key device that is proven successful in Cape Coral. The police department will be proposing this solution to gas skimmers at a city commission meeting held tomorrow. Well, starting today, if you use a SunPass, you will not be able to add funds to your account through the Pass's website or mobile app. SunPass itself will still be available to drivers. They just won't be able to put more money into their accounts for the rest of the week. SunPass's system will remain down until Monday morning as crews work to update equipment across the state. An iconic Longboat Key resort will soon be no more. The Colony Beach and Tennis Resort has been abandoned for nearly 10 years after a legal dispute between the condo owners and management. Since then, Longboat Key officials say the property has become a hazard to health, safety, and welfare. The Director of Planning, Zoning, and Building has ordered the demolition for as early as next Friday. He says the town has given the owners a fair chance to address the conditions.
The structures are really unfit and unsafe right now, and then entering into another hurricane season, that just adds to the safety concerns that we have.
The director says there is a 10-day appeal period that began last Thursday. But so far there have not been any appeals. An Orlando developer has bought the land and plans to build St. Regis Hotel on that site after the demolition. The school district of Manatee County needs to fill hundreds of positions by August. District officials say the goal is to fill the majority of its nearly 300 instructional vacancies by the new school year. The school district says recent retirees add to the number of openings in the county, along with resignations and contracts that were not renewed. But some employees believe there are so many openings because teachers are leaving to work in nearby school districts.
Our district is wide enough that you could drive within the district as long as it would take you to get to another district, whether it be Sarasota or St. Pete.
The openings do not include the positions that the district needs to fill for the 3 new schools coming to East Manatee County. District officials say the hiring process will begin for those in spring of 2019. And graduating seniors from the school district of Manatee County will be headed to higher education well equipped. According to a survey done by the district, the class of 2018 earned more than $16 million in scholarships and have been accepted into more than 200 colleges and universities nationwide. A select few will also be headed to all 5 branches of the armed forces. So big congratulations to them. Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, funding for Medicare is set to end sooner than anybody expected. We'll tell you when it's supposed to go bankrupt. And in Detroit, they throw octopi. In Nashville, they throw catfish. We'll show you how this little boy got a crab onto the ice at the Stanley Cup game.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score.
It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach.
Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think, I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free.
You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
despite how early it may be in the mornings, you still can't catch a break with that humidity and the heat. I mean,
the west wind.
In the morning,
it's a lot worse during the midsummer when we get these west winds because the water temperature is 89. But with the water temperature 82, it makes it feel a little bit cooler with that west wind. But it's still high, and as far as the temperature goes, it keeps temperatures in the low 80s for lows. 80 degrees again this morning. Here's what's going on as far as the photos go. Casey Key, another great shot from Fred Seeger. Sending them on in. A lot of folks sending them on in. This one from the South Jetty. Couldn't get to all of them, but that one, appreciate that, Suzanne. Here's the current conditions. There it is, 81 degrees, but it feels like 87. Feels like 87. That's the heat index, and the barometer is 2994. That's not all that high right now. We have a little weak area of low pressure trying to move on in. West winds are at 10. That west wind continues to be a factor for us, and that this kind of situation set up, especially in summer. We see coastal showers during the overnight, even into the morning hours, and then the inland focus later on in the day. This is going to be a little bit different tomorrow, though. We'll see periodic showers at any time during the day, it looks like, as a result of this little weak disturbance moving across the northern Gulf of Mexico. And with that in place, it's really bumped the high pressure down to our south. The Titan radar picture not showing a whole lot going on. We see a few brief showers popping up now and again, and that's what we're going to see again tomorrow, and looks like throughout the early afternoon hours. There's one right along I-75, just a little one, but don't be surprised to hear some possibility of some moderate to heavy rainfall during the overnight hours in your neighborhood, but not all of them. You can see that dry air has been in place, and so the storms that have been trying to pop up really don't get too much in terms of intensity, but that's going to be slowly thinning out as this system gets closer to us. You can see that a little dry air starts to break up over northeastern Gulf of Mexico. High pressure down to the south now. Typically this is centered off the coast of the Carolinas. That brings us that east to southeasterly wind in the summer, which butts up against the sea breeze, and then that carries over the storms from central Florida toward the west coast. But this is a whole different pattern that is shaping up right now, and it has been that way. And there's that little piece of energy scooting along, and a lot of times the models have a hard time in determining how strong that energy will be by the time it reaches us, because there's not a lot of data out there in the Gulf of Mexico. As far as the forecast goes, this is what I'm looking at. Some scattered showers in the morning. Not everyone's going to get the rain, but there'll be a few around, and then again at midday, and then even up until 3 o'clock, and then most of the action should be inland in the afternoon, late afternoon and evening. 81 degrees right now. As I said, the barometer is 29.94. The dew point is very high. That's summer-like in the mid to upper 70s. 88 the high today. The low this morning was unseasonably warm at 80 degrees. And we're behind a rainfall for the month of June. Although May, we had excessive amounts of rainfall. So far, we're starting off this month on a dry note. And it looks like that could be changing in the long run. We're going to keep an eye on an area down here. There's been a lot of clouds and showers down there gathering about, and the long-range model does have something developing and popping up out of there. For the time being, though, we'll just watch these little pieces of energy rotate around this trough of low pressure in the eastern United States, and with that in place, we'll get a chance for showers again on into Thursday. Well, temperatures for highs tomorrow, 93 in Kansas City, 91 in St. Louis. That's the high tomorrow in Dallas at 97 degrees. For boating tomorrow, west winds at 10 knots. Now, there will be some showers around that could cause the winds and seas to be a little higher there. A light chop, though, in the bays and inland waters. The water temperature, there's at 82 degrees during the mid part of summer. That's around 90. So it's a little bit milder near the beaches. We'll see highs there into the mid 80s for highs. Here's the 7-day forecast, and a good chance for at least scattered showers, and some of those showers could contain some heavy rainfall as the atmosphere is starting to moisten up a bit. And then we'll see a 40% chance still hanging around on Thursday. That little piece of energy will still be by us. Another one, a slight chance on Friday, and then we'll go to a 40% chance at any time during the day for showers and storms on Saturday and Sunday. It does not appear that we're going to get a washout on those days, but we will see some showers and even a few thunderstorms over the weekend. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. In Florida, cops arrested a hammer welding suspect after he was taken down by none other than a can of beans. In the surveillance video, you can see Panama City Major Jimmy Stanford distract the suspect by throwing a can of beans at him. Stanford's quick thinking distracted the suspect long enough for law enforcement officers to rush him. The man was arrested and charged with assault with a deadly weapon on a law enforcement officer, among other charges. Well, it appears Florida may not have the safest drinking water following earlier tests of water fountains at schools in Tallahassee that showed high levels of lead. A group calling themselves Get the Lead Out recently tested 8 drinking fountains at the state capitol building. 4 were found to have lead levels above 1 part per billion, an amount the American Academy of Pediatrics says creates health risks for children. One of the drinking fountains had lead levels 11 times higher than that.
Throughout Florida is largely the same, and we know that the lead is coming from the plumbing parts. It's not coming from the aquifer.
According to the group, schools built before 1986 pose the highest risk for contamination, and it's estimated that it would cost about $24 million to fix and replace what is needed to make that water safe. A new study by Visit Florida says that a record-breaking number of people are visiting Florida. In the first 3 months of the year alone, more than 33 million people visited the state. That's more than 7% at the same time last year. According to the study, a large portion of those tourists came from within the state, and the number of Canadian visitors keeps increasing, but there was a decrease in the number of visitors from overseas.
Tourism funds 1.4 million Floridians jobs. It makes sure those people can feed their families, pay their mortgages. Tourism is the #1 economic driver in Florida.
According to Visit Florida, this uptick is good news for the state, which broke records last year despite the damages left behind from hurricanes. New at 11, studies show Medicare will go bankrupt by 2026 and Social Security will follow less than 10 years later. Today, the Trump administration said the financial outlook for the program deteriorated in the last year, and Social Security still faces serious long-term financial problems. The projections are the first from the administration since the president signed a $1.5 trillion tax cut into law back in December. More than 60 million people are on Social Security, Medicare, or both. Well, it's a big night for primary elections. 8 states cast midterm primary ballots today with implications for control of the House and the Senate. ABC's Danya Backus has a look at the top races.
In California, a crowded primary could be key for Democratic hopes of retaking the House of Representatives in November.
If Democrats are going to take back the House, they need to see the blue wave start right here in California.
The state has 7 Republican-held districts that voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, now opportunities for Democrats. But with 47 candidates running across 3 battleground districts, and with the state's jungle primary where the 2 top vote-getters, regardless of party, advance to November, some Democrats fear the outcome.
And that means if you have 10 good Democrats and only 2 solid Republicans, the Democrats eat their own vote away, and you're stuck potentially with Democrats shutting themselves out.
New Jersey is also crucial for the fight to control Congress. Several congressional seats there are up for grabs. Senator Robert Menendez heads to the general election months after the federal criminal corruption charges against him were dropped and he was rebuked by the Senate Ethics Panel. Montana is another state to watch. The red state deciding who will face Senator Jon Tester, one of the chamber's most vulnerable Democrats who played a role in President Trump's nomination for VA Secretary being pulled.
President Trump reacted angrily to it, said he'd make it his mission to try to oust Senator Tester. In a state as Republican as Montana, he might have a good shot.
And history could be made in New Mexico, where Deb Haaland is looking to become the first Native American Congresswoman. It could be days before we have the final results here in California because the state allows absentee ballots to be mailed through Election Day. Danya Backus, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight, it's a Can't Miss Kimmel.
I think you're right.
With the incredible Claire Danes.
Who leaked that?
Actor Jason Mitchell.
Look at me now, I'm on Jimmy Kimmel.
And music from Pusha T. Plus, Jimmy's All Alone with Karl Malone.
This took a weird turn.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, tonight on ABC.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
If you're looking for a rewarding job you'll love, good news. The perfect job is just a click away. Go to mysuncoast.com/job of the day. It's that easy. Stop searching and go to mysuncoast.com/job of the day to find the perfect job for you.
Now, sports.
The White House held a tribute to the nation today after pulling the plug on an event honoring the Philadelphia Eagles for winning the Super Bowl. Trump accused the Eagles of not being sufficiently patriotic, lumping the team in with other NFL players who have kneeled during the national anthem at games in protest of police brutality. Even though not one Eagles player took a knee in protest this season, the White House accused the Eagles of attempting some sort of stunt.
If this wasn't a political stunt by the Eagles franchise, then they wouldn't have planned to attend the event and then backed out at the last minute.
Philadelphia's mayor lashed back in a statement, saying disinviting them from the White House only proves that our president is not a true patriot. NBA players also weighing in on that matter today.
I mean, I know no matter who wins this series, no one wants to invite anyway, so it won't be Golden State or Cleveland going.
I agree with Brian.
Last year, the president rescinded a White House invitation to the 2017 NBA champion Golden State Warriors after point guard Steph Curry would not commit to going. Well, the Washington Capitals are one victory away from winning the team's first ever Stanley Cup, but their performance on the ice isn't the only thing grabbing attention. During their Game 3 win, someone threw a crab onto the ice. Yes, a crab. The Capitals then tweeted a picture asking who did it.
I wore 2 pairs of underwear and put the crab in a Ziploc bag, put the crab in between the 2 pairs of underwear, and then I got through security pretty easily.
Well, the first ever crab toss in the Stanley Cup final and perhaps a new tradition for fans. Game 5 is Thursday night in Las Vegas. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers straight ahead.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
My California closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Datoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
That's my favorite video.
That's right. Panda takes a bath.
Oh, well, splish splash, this panda was having a bath. She found a fun way to cool off on a hot day in China, where she lives in a research facility that breeds the giant pandas. Now this video is going viral online. I did not know we were on air, but a lot of us probably want to take a bath like that because it's just so
chilling.
hot out.
Yeah, just chilling right there. I like that. Pandas are always great, aren't they? The weather's always great here usually, but we're going to see a few more showers around tomorrow. In fact, the forecast is calling for that, and meteorologist John Scalzi will have more on Good Morning Suncoast tomorrow at 5, so you want to tune in for that.
All right, thanks, Bob, and thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Have a good evening.